Look what it says in verse 17 then. And the woman of the neighborhood gave him a name. They had this son. The woman named him, saying, a son has been born to Naomi. They named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Why is that important? Why is that important? Look at, if you go over to Matthew chapter 1. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the four Gospels in the New Testament. Matthew's unique in the sense that he's Jewish, and he's writing to Jewish believers. And so he makes it a point to include the lineage of Jesus' Jewishness. So he goes all the way back. And then this is what it says in verse 5 and 6. And Solomon, the father of Boaz, you've heard of him, right? By Rahab, and Boaz, the father of Obed, by Ruth, and Obed, the father of Jesse, and Jesse, the father of David, the king. Does that strike odd to you that a Moabite woman is in the King of Kings genealogy? Why in the world is a Moabite woman and her family in the lineage of Jesus? The same reason that you are. You were foreigners. You were bitter and barren. You were the ones lost and forgotten. You were the ones devastated and defeated because of your sin. But because of God's great mercy, you know what he did? He redeemed you. He literally bought you back into his family. This is Israel's darkest hour. But through their darkest hour, God gave them their greatest hope. God never left them, just like he never leaves you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. God never leaves you in the field. He never leaves you in the famine. He never leaves you in your tragedy or trouble. He never leaves you. He is always with you. And when it feels like God is distant, could it be that God is setting the stage for you in your life, working in your favor, working behind the scenes? It might not be obvious. It wasn't obvious in Ruth. You know what's so interesting about Ruth's story is that they had no idea how it was going to end. You think about that? The book of Ruth ends with a paragraph about a genealogy of Obed to Jesse to this guy David. You realize that Ruth and Naomi, probably, especially Naomi, never met David. David doesn't come onto the scene for like another 100 years. And then we don't even know the full implication of David being the king of Israel, the one in whom Jesus would come through, until even years after that. They had to have faith. They had to have trust. It didn't just, it literally ended. It ended with a little baby and a whole lot of hope. Trust. They had to trust their Redeemer. That everything that was wrong in their tragedy and everything that was wrong in the famine and everything that was wrong when they were feeling forgotten about was going to come to a place where it was going to be all right.